Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm gonna what I thought about the Matrix Resurrections, and I saw this film during the Warner Brothers deal with releasing this film simultaneously on HBO Max. I'm just glad I didn't see it in theaters, but I think it's a little underrated for what the film was trying to do as a sequel. It's been what? The movie came out last year, December. It's already August. So why are you talking about it way right now? Well, honestly, I had to sit on it. I had to sit on the film because my expectations of the film were so high that when I watched it, I didn't know how to react to it. It was actually a letdown, to be honest with you. I was kind of fucking disappointed, but maybe not in the way that you hope, but I ain't gonna fucking lie. I was disappointed in that damn movie, but I think it's underrated. When I watched the trailer, I was hyped, but I was a little bit concerned since the other sister, Lana Wachowski. I forgot what the other one's name was. Wasn't involved in it. And then how some of the action scenes looked like from how they were shot. And then when I watched the film, first of all, this is the longest Matrix film to date. And this is probably the most colorful Matrix film that I've seen besides the Animatrix. And I really enjoyed the premise of this film. I actually liked that it was like a reboot, repeat sequel where you're seeing some of these similar things, kind of like a meta, self-aware story where you're kind of given the same thing but in a different way. So it's like a reboot, remake, sequel that you'd never really seen before in this way, where they show old footage from the original movies where certain actors basically say the same thing and they intercut it with the main of the recent footage, and where certain things, certain events happen like similar to the other film, is basically saying the Matrix did a reboot and is doing somewhat of a repeat but in a different way. And that was a concept I thought was very interesting. However, I thought the execution was not great, especially the beginning of the film. The first 10-15 minutes, I was lost. Kind of like the first time watching Inception. Maybe I have to watch it again, and I kind of do want to watch it again, of trying to figure out what's happening, how is everything making sense. And it was actually interesting for a Matrix film to throw you into something and to not know what exactly happening really in the first 15-20 minutes. But I can tell you, I was disappointed how the way the film was shot. There were certain moments in the film which looked beautiful. Certain shots were cool, but it felt like a downgrade from the other trilogy. And I understand, you have these actors that getting older with Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss, which I'm kind of curious how they shot John Wick 4. Very close up handheld fights. Not very big on it. The guy who played the new rendition of Agent Smith was alright. I'm sure maybe they try to get Hugo Weaving back, but he was like, nah, I don't see how this is working. Which I understand. I can understand why they wouldn't want Lawrence Fishburne back. He's so old, he ain't trying to lose the weight. Or maybe they did. Maybe he was like, nah, I think I'm good. I'm not trying to get back in the shape and try to do all them stunts. You know, who knows? Abdul, whatever that guy's name is. He was cool as Neo, not Neo, as Morpheus, a new rendition. But his character arc got different. Maybe when the system rebooted, he was a new edition kind of version of himself where he was an agent. But somehow Jessica Henwick's character, fine as hell, did something to where he was able to remember his past life from the original booted Matrix. I was alright with Jada Pinkett Smith in it. To me, her character kind of makes sense. The way they brought her character back. And it was actually unique. Some of the choices made in the film where some of the machines were on board with the humans and some of the machines were not. And then, you know, it was actually interesting. It was actually interesting when they rebooted that Trinity actually got some of Neo's powers, where they titled the One. Actually, it's a power couple. The One, both of them are the One, which is actually unique. I actually like the idea that Lana came back to it only on the conditions where she felt like she needed something to return to. Not, well, there's a story behind that. I'm not even going to go too into it. But it was a letdown because the action scenes didn't feel as heavy like the original trilogy. They weren't well shot. I thought bringing back certain characters from the original just didn't really add any new ground for me. And I thought the action scenes were pretty much underwhelming. I don't know what. It just was like, eh. And I think with time, with the visual effects, they were able to do certain things with the Matrix. I was like, okay, maybe, you know. Because with CGI, you can basically do anything. But it feels cartoonish in a way. And I admire the original trilogy a bit because there were certain things they tried to do where it didn't feel like it was cartoony, but they still relied on quite a few practical elements. The scenes where the Matrix, the townspeople, were attacking Neo and Trinity while they were on the motorcycle, and they were basically just jumping out of the buildings to try to stop them from trying to escape the Matrix. Interesting. Felt cartoonish, but interesting. Really, the story really sold me on this. Like everything, like the performances were great. The story was interesting. And I thought it was a unique way to bring back the franchise, though. I don't know. I don't necessarily see, well, with the reception of this film, I don't see the Matrix coming back after this. I don't. It was a letdown, but I think it's underrated because of what the film was trying to do, the story it was trying to tell. That we are literally succumbing to our technology, that our technology is basically running our lives and dictating our lives, where we need to break free from it. Thus the red pill knowledge, because you're feeding a lie. Like, there are some cool moments. I really enjoyed the moments with Trinity. I like what they did with their character. And every time she was on screen, like, probably one of the best female action heroes I've seen on screen. When she was on screen and when she remembered who she was, it's like, I am Trinity, and you better take your goddamn hands off me, dude. I was like, oh my god, she's back, bro. She is back. And she whooped their ass. I ain't gonna lie, that was like the best part of the movie. When she came back, dude, that scene was like, Probably one of the best moments in the movie, and probably one of the best movie scenes of last year. Dude, that scene kicked ass. That scene kicked ass. It kicked every scene that Carrie Ann Moss was in. She kicked ass in that scene, bro. Like, that scene was just, oh my god, best scene in the movie. Best scene. It was interesting what they were able to do with the Matrix powers with her and Neo. But hands down, that scene was the best. Jesus Christ. I was like, okay. That part right there was cool. The concept of the movie was cool. The execution fell flat. But I respect the hell out of Lana Wachowski for trying to do something different with the franchise. I mean, literally different. And they are a risk filmmakers. They like risk, and I like how thought-provoking this film was and risky it was. I like how risky it was. But I thought the execution was just not great there, you know? I mean, but they tried. She tried. I'm probably going to give it a little while, but I still remember the film, still to this day, clearly, of what I liked and what I didn't like, mostly didn't like. And it was, it was actually interesting seeing Christina Ricci in there. Honestly, I thought she would have had more of a prominent role. I haven't seen much of her movies, but I'm a fan since Casper. But I don't know. The movie was alright. I would recommend it to really get your head around the concept. What I wish the film really tried to do, and it was trying to do it, but I wish it took its time. But way too much. I wish it relied more of that. And I think maybe the execution should have been a little bit more subtle. That's just me, though. Or maybe it could have been into HBO Max limited series. If you think back to Kingdom Hearts 2, where the game starts off with Roxas, then he slowly remembers things, which is kind of what the Matrix Resurrection did, but they crammed it. I felt like there were a lot of nice, interesting story concepts that, since the movie was like close to 2.5 hours, I feel like still there wasn't enough time to explore a lot of these concepts, and I wish it took time to explore more of them. Slow pace to where it slowly gets it out there, because I felt like things were just rushed out. I feel like they were rushed out. Shit, I didn't mind the film being more of a drama. And they had some concepts in there that were really, 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 really awesome. But I just, I think it fell kind of flat. And I remember sitting there when the movie was over. I was like, because I think it was my second time my dad watched it. He already watched it in theater with my brother. First time I was watching it on that HBO Max. And I was just sitting there when the movie was ending. And I was like, I didn't like this. But I kept thinking about it. And I remember I was talking to somebody about the film. And they straight up liked it. I think it's okay. It's the concept of this film was very unique. And the film sold me on the concept. Like, the concept was really cool. Again, the execution felt kind of underwhelming. And props to the Wachowskis for trying to do something unique, similar to what they try to do with Cloud Atlas. Though I think, Cloud Atlas is, again, a difficult film. But, I don't know. That's just my thoughts about the film. I think the HBO release same to date plan really did messed up his chances. But I recommend giving it a watch. The Matrix Resurrections. Comment below. Let me know if you have seen it, what you thought about it, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.